Hello everyone, welcome back to another Project Gladiator weekly overlook. I haven't done one of these in a while, so it's good to be back in the swing of things and doing weekly overlooks again. So taking a look at the weather for the rest of the week, but starting off with our 7-day tropical weather outlook, but mainly focusing on future Hurricane Idalia. It is currently a tropical storm, but it is expected to become a hurricane by what looks like 1 a.m. on Tuesday. An impact is a Category 1 hurricane into the Gulf side of Florida in the Florida Panhandle and the surrounding areas on 1 a.m. on Wednesday as a Category 1 hurricane, bringing with it the possibility of high winds, storm surge, and flooding to this particular location. And you can see that they already do have a few watches out for this particular location. So if you do live in this warning cone, please make sure you are definitely staying weather alert and watching for any updates on Tropical Storm Idalia or future Hurricane Idalia as this continues to develop over the next couple of days. Taking a look at our radar Omega model, starting off with our 500 millibars like we usually do, you can see focusing on a vast majority of the United States, you can see that we do have a lingering high pressure system, more so of an upper ridge and upper levels, that is going to be preventing a large majority of the jet stream from getting into the United States and pushing it mostly up into the northern reaches of Canada. There are a few areas where it does dip down into the northern United States, in the northern eastern United States and northern central plains. However, this is not expected to trigger severe weather development across the United States this week. And if we take a look at some of this mid-level flow that is towards the western United States region, you can see that we do have a shortwave trough that is expected to make its way eastward out of the Pacific and trigger severe weather development for the northwestern United States region. This is expected to trigger severe weather development by what looks like Tuesday of this week. But that is going to be the main overall threat for organized severe thunderstorms for this week, outside of what we will be taking a look at in the tropics. And if we take a look at the southern United States, you can see that we do have this marginal threat for today. This marginal threat across the southern United States was primarily being triggered by a stationary front. It is somewhat moving, but it is mostly stationary, and it is expected to trigger severe weather development by tomorrow. However, because of the lack of a jet stream across this particular location, we aren't expected to see any shear whatsoever, directional or speed, to support the possibility of tornadoes or hail across this region, and primarily the threat of damaging winds. But if we take a look at the tropics here, you can see that we are expected to have Hurricane Idalia that is expected to make its way northward and target the Florida Panhandle and Gulf side of Florida and southern Georgia as well, and the surrounding areas, which now looks like it is expected to impact as a Category 2 hurricane. That is definitely possible. It could impact as a low-end to mid-end Category 2. However, I'm going to stay mostly in that range of Category 1, low-end, mid-end Category 2. However, we could definitely see the possibility of flash flooding and storm surge across this particular location. When it is expected to impact is, again, Wednesday of this week, and bring the possibility of, again, flash flooding and storm surge, and the possibility of high winds to these affected areas. If you do live in this warning cone region, please make sure you are definitely staying a weather alert for Hurricane Idalia as it does begin to track its way northward and target these areas by Wednesday. And again, make sure you are definitely watching out for any type of warnings or updates from either the NWS or the Weather Channel or any weather stations like that about Hurricane Idalia as it does make its way northward by Wednesday. Taking a look at our dew points and how it might affect our instability plume and its location, you can see for today and tomorrow, you can see a vast majority of our instability and our moisture is expected to be across a large portion of the eastern United States into the southern United States. And that is where we are expected to see the majority of our instability. Outside of that, we aren't really expected to see dew points that are going to support instability that would be indicative of a marginal threat and above. However, as Hurricane Idalia is expected to continue making its way northward and then out into Atlantic again, and not expected to really impact South Carolina or North Carolina at all. However, it could affect some of the coastal cities. It isn't really expected to impact much of the United States after that. And you can see after Hurricane Idalia does exit the United States, you can see our instability plume and our moisture plume is expected to drop even more and become even more confined to the eastern United States region, being mostly limited to eastern Virginia, eastern North Carolina, eastern South Carolina, southern Georgia, southern Alabama, and Florida. So our instability plume is expected to weaken even more, with our moisture plume being pushed further out to the south and out into the Atlantic Ocean by Hurricane Idalia, which is going to prevent strong severe thunderstorms from developing, especially with the jet stream being pushed further up to the north. So overall, our ingredients are highly out of place to support the possibility of severe thunderstorms for a large portion of the United States. Again, because of our ingredients being out of place, they won't really be able to use each other all that much to support severe thunderstorms. We aren't really expected to see anything above a marginal threat for the rest of the United States region. Taking a look at our temperatures, you can see for this week, you see that we are expected to have some fairly hot temperatures that are being mostly limited to the southern United States, across Texas, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and southern Alabama, with those dark maroon colors being 100 and above, and the grays being into the 90s. And if we go forward, you can see that we are expected to have temperatures that are going to increase across the central plains into the Midwest, getting up to those 110s and upper 101s. And you can see that, again, temperatures that are expected to be in the extreme amounts that would definitely warrant the potential for a heat stroke across this particular location. Mainly across the Central Plains and the Midwest, maybe into parts of Illinois and Indiana, and temperatures getting as high as 102 across parts of southern Canada. That is absolutely insane. If you do live in these particular locations, please make sure you are definitely watching out for heat-related illnesses such as heat stroke. And if you do have any plans outside these next couple of days, which I do not recommend with temperatures this high, please make sure that you are definitely staying hydrated and staying indoors when you can, near an AC or anything, anywhere that you can stay cool, as these temperatures will definitely cause the possibility for heat stroke. And again, you will definitely need to stay hydrated for a vast majority of this week, as temperatures are expected to be absolutely insane because of this high pressure system that is lingering across the United States. Now that I've told you the weather, please go down to the description and check out the socials for Project Gladiator, and join the Discord for any updates on Project Gladiator. And if you live in any of the areas that are covered for this week, please stay weather alert for the time being, and hopefully I will be able to see you guys tomorrow with another forecast.